A man and woman from Rockford face several charges after allegedly breaking into a home and starting a fight. According to court records, 25-year-old Audrey Brinda and 24-year-old Maurice Yancey were both arrested after police responded to a home around 7:30 Sunday evening in the 3400 block of Normandy Avenue. There, a man alleged that Brinda and Yancey were trying to force their way into the home and made threats to beat up the resident and his girlfriend. Both face charges including home invasion, criminal trespass to property, and battery.